It started like any other Saturday night. The lights were dim in our apartment. The faint hum of the city outside crept through the blinds. I could feel the tension even before I saw him. Jacob was in the kitchen, leaning against the counter, arms crossed, jaw tight, his brow furrowed, eyes darting toward the unopened wine bottle on the table as if it had committed some unforgivable crime. "Why didn't you call me back today?" I asked cautiously, stepping into the living room. I could feel the familiar pit in my stomach, the one that appeared whenever a fight threatened to become more than words. He didn't answer right away, just stared in silence, like he was trying to memorize my face and store it somewhere deep, only to reject it later. "I'm not in the mood for this," he finally muttered. His voice was low, tight, almost clipped. "I just wanted to talk," I said, keeping my tone calm, though my hand was trembling slightly. I had learned long ago that raising my voice would only escalate things. I hated fights, but I hated silence more. He shook his head and moved past me toward the bedroom. "Not tonight, Olivia. Just go to bed." The words stung, but I swallowed the sharp edge of disappointment. I thought maybe, just maybe, he needed space. I retreated to the sofa, curling into the cushions as if they could somehow shield me from the tension radiating off him. I tried to distract myself with my phone, scrolling aimlessly until my thumb hovered over a name I shouldn't have been thinking about. Ryan, my ex. A name I hadn't mentioned in months, tucked away like a fragile memory I didn't want to disturb. But maybe tonight, I thought, honesty might bridge the gap between us. I took a deep breath. "Jacob," I began hesitantly, "do you ever wonder about us before all this?" My voice was almost a whisper. He stopped in his tracks. I could feel it, the shift in the room, subtle at first but undeniable. The air thickened, heavy with unspoken words. I pressed on, my nerves betraying me. "Sometimes I think about my past, about who I was." He spun around, eyes flashing with something I hadn't seen in months. Not anger exactly, but a kind of sharp, cutting intensity that made me flinch. "Wait," he said, his voice rising slightly. "Are you bringing him up now? After everything?" My heart sank. It wasn't to. "It's always about him, isn't it?" His words were cold, deliberate. The calm I had tried to maintain evaporated, replaced with a chill I couldn't shake. "You keep dragging him into our life. I can't compete with a ghost." I tried to explain, but the words sounded hollow even to my own ears. I realized then that this wasn't just about my ex. It was about the fragile threads of trust we had left, now fraying with every misstep, every poorly chosen word. He turned sharply and left the room. The bedroom door clicked softly behind him, a sound that echoed like a verdict. My chest tightened, panic crept in. I knew he was angry, but not just angry. Something deeper, something I had never seen in him before. I waited, hoping he would return, hoping we could salvage some sense of normalcy. But the minutes stretched like hours. The city outside seemed to hold its breath with me, waiting for what would come next. At 11:30 I checked my phone. No messages, no calls, just silence. By midnight I couldn't take it anymore. I knocked on the bedroom door. "Please talk to me." No response. I turned the knob slowly, hesitating, my hand trembling. Inside, the room was empty. The bed was unmade, his pillow indented as if he'd been there minutes before, then vanished into thin air. Panic surged. I checked the living room, the kitchen, the bathroom. Nothing. My heart pounded like a drum, each beat echoing in the silent apartment. Then I saw it. His coat was gone from the hook by the door. His keys were missing. And on the counter, a small folded note in his precise handwriting. "I can't do this tonight. I need space. I'll come back when I figure things out. Don't wait up." I stared at the paper, my mind racing. Part of me wanted to follow him, to demand answers. Another part wanted to curl up and pretend none of it was real. But deep down I knew that once he stepped out, everything could change forever. I sank to the floor, the note clutched in my hand, staring at the door. The city noises seemed distant now, muffled. My heart ached, not just for his absence but for the fracture I had caused. As the hours crawled by, I couldn't shake the feeling that tonight was different, that something had snapped, something irreversible. And when morning came, I feared that Jacob might not just be gone for the night. Morning came, but it brought no comfort. Sunlight streamed through the blinds, indifferent to the chaos it illuminated. I still sat on the floor, knees drawn to my chest, clutching Jacob's note like a lifeline I wasn't sure I wanted. My phone buzzed once, twice, but it wasn't him, just work emails, notifications I ignored. I didn't want to be anywhere but the apartment, trapped in the echo of the night before. By mid-morning, the anxiety had turned into a restless obsession. I needed to know where he was, why he had left like this, and if he was coming back. I called his number straight to voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. My chest tightened with every unanswered ring. Panic sharpened into something raw and almost physical. Then I noticed his jacket was actually still on the hook by the door. Empty. His wallet was on the counter, keys nowhere. My mind raced, recalling every argument, every slip of the tongue, every mention of Ryan. Could it have been that small trigger, the ex's name, that made him leave? Or was it something deeper, something I'd been blind to for months? I threw on my coat and headed out, determined to track him down. My first stop was Tyler's place, Jacob's best friend, the one he always confided in. The apartment building in downtown Seattle buzzed with morning activity, but when I reached Tyler's door, there was silence. I knocked and waited. Then the door opened and Tyler's expression told me everything before he spoke. Panic, confusion, a hint of fear. "Olivia, Jacob isn't here," he said slowly. "Where is he?" I demanded. "Did he come here last night?" Tyler hesitated. "He was here briefly. Left early. Didn't say much. Look, Olivia. Maybe you should just calm down. He'll come back when he's ready. Calm down." I snapped, my voice cracking. "He's missing. I don't even know if he's safe." Tyler sighed, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "I get it, but he left on his own. I don't think he's in danger. He just needed to be alone. He mentioned something about needing space, figuring things out. That's all I know." I left Tyler's place with frustration and fear swirling like a storm inside me. My steps took me to Discovery Park, the place we often visited, the bench where we had laughed, argued, and cried countless times. I sat there for what felt like hours, scanning every familiar path, hoping to spot him. Then my phone buzzed again. A text from an unknown number. I froze. "Olivia, it's me. Don't panic. Just listen." My heart skipped a beat. I immediately replied, fingers trembling. "Jacob, where are you?" A few seconds later, another message. "I can't explain everything right now. I'm safe. I need to see you tonight. At the old pier in Tacoma. 8 p.m. Don't tell anyone." The old pier in Tacoma. The place where we first kissed, where we shared secrets, where I felt most alive with him. It was miles away, but I didn't hesitate. I drove south through the city, heart hammering in my chest. Questions swirled. Why the secrecy? Why the sudden disappearance? What had changed so drastically in one night? When I arrived, the pier was quiet. Fog rolled in over Puget Sound. The faint creak of wooden boards under my feet echoed like whispers. I scanned the shadows, searching for him. And then I saw him standing at the edge, looking out over the dark water. Hands buried in his pockets, posture rigid. "Jacob," I called softly. He turned slowly, eyes reflecting the silver light of the moon rising over the water. Something in him had shifted, hard, distant, almost unrecognizable. "I'm here," he said, voice low. "But this isn't just about last night." I took a tentative step forward. "Then tell me, please." He shook his head. "It's complicated. I needed to leave to think, not just about us but about me, about everything I buried. The fights, the jealousy, the history I never dealt with properly." My throat tightened. "History." He took a deep breath, staring into the fog. "Olivia, when I left last night, I realized I've been carrying a lot of anger, pain, resentment from before we met. Things I never wanted to admit. And when you mentioned Ryan, it triggered something I wasn't ready to face. I acted rashly. I ran. I reached for his hand. You scared me. I thought you were gone." He looked at me, eyes glistening. I was scared too. Scared of what I might say, what I might do if I stayed. But leaving? I realized leaving isn't what I wanted. I want to fix this. I don't want to lose you over a name, over a ghost. Tears burned my eyes. Relief, anger, and love tangled into a single knot. "So we can work through it?" Jacob nodded slowly. "Yes, but it won't be easy. We both need to be honest, really honest. No ghosts, no lies, no avoidance." I swallowed, my heart pounding. I can do that. We can do that. He stepped closer, taking my hand in both of his. For the first time in over 24 hours, I felt the tension lift. Not gone entirely, but manageable. Fragile like the first light of dawn. And as we stood on the pier, fog swirling around us, I realized something terrifying and beautiful. Relationships aren't just about the good moments. They're about the fights, the silences, the fear. And if you survive them, the moments afterward are richer, more alive than you could have imagined. Jacob squeezed my hand and I finally let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, we could survive this night.